Ready whenever you're set. Well, sir, could you state your name, please?
Timothy James Catlett.
All right, sir. All right, I want to confirm your address. The state is alleging two charges against you. One of is a felony allegation, and one of them is a misdemeanor allegation. I'll first talk to you about the felony allegation. That allegation is a misconduct involving weapons, a class 5 felony, and the misdemeanor charge is a DUI impaired to the slightest degree. On those charges, you have the right to remain silent, right to counsel, and right to trial. On the felony, I've scheduled you for a preliminary hearing on the 25th of February at 4 o'clock p.m. The preliminary hearing is to determine if there's probable cause to charge you with that crime, not convict you, but to charge you. If they meet probable cause in that hearing, then your case will bind over to the Gila County Superior Court. If they do not meet probable cause, that case could dismiss. There also is a possibility that the case could go in front of a grand jury. If it does go in front of a grand jury, you'll be notified that you do not need to appear in court at your P.O. box. Best thing to do is to call a day ahead of time to see if your case is still proceeding.
Yes, sir.
Regarding the misdemeanor violation, I've scheduled you for an arraignment at the March 4th at 9 o'clock. On that one, you do have to appear. The other one is pending whether it goes in front of a grand jury. But on the misdemeanor, you have to appear and be prepared to plead either guilty, not guilty, or no contest to the DUI charge.
Yes, sir.
Depending on your plead will be what occurs next with the court proceedings, and all of those options, as well as the penalty range, will be explained to you at the next hearing prior to you giving your plea, so you'll be well informed on it. Your release conditions for the charges are obey all orders of the court, do not commit any crimes, notify the court immediately of any address change, do not leave the state of Arizona without permission of the court. If you get a physical address, report that to the court as well. Regarding the felony allegation, you're not to possess any firearms since that's a felony allegation, and if you're convicted, you could become a prohibited possessor. On the misdemeanor allegation, I am going to order you to pre-trial services. So what that is, sir, is that when you're released out of custody, which I intend to do, I'm going to provide you a name and phone number at the probation department. You're not on probation, but you are on release services. They're going to monitor you and make sure you're abiding by these release conditions and that you're appearing in court as ordered, or they'll report to us your failure to do so and your release could be revoked. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Can you abide by those release conditions I explained?
I can.
And you'll appear in court as ordered?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll release you on your own recognizance. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, that'll be all then.
And on that one, Mr. Alcorn told me on the way. Okay. It's French over to jail. Yeah, just, he's definitely in the meeting, but I think he is, just gonna have him, that's something saying, in violence or something. Full name for the judge.
Starter Joel Brickman.
Thank you. Could you step forward a little bit?
Yeah,
Thank you.
there you go.
All right, Mr. Brickman, is that what you said?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, sir, I want to confirm your address. All right, the state is alleging a total of 6 charges against you. All of them are felony allegations. The first charge is drug paraphernalia possession or use. The second charge is narcotic drug possession or use. The third charge is narcotic drug possession for sale. The fourth charge is promoting prison contraband. The fifth charge is misconduct involving weapons, being a prohibited possessor. And then a second charge of misconduct involving weapons, being weapons related in a drug offense. On those charges, you have the right to remain silent, right to counsel, and right to trial. I've scheduled you for a preliminary hearing on the 17th of February at 4:00 p.m. The preliminary hearing is to determine if there's probable cause to charge you with these felony allegations.
Okay.
If probable cause is met for charging, not convicting, then your case will bind over to the Gila County Superior Court. If the charges do not meet probable cause, then they could be dismissed. There's also a possibility that the case will be presented in front of a grand jury to make that determination. If that is the case, you will not need to appear in court, as the grand jury will be hearing the case. As of today, we don't know if that's occurring or not, so you are ordered until otherwise notified. Your release conditions are as follows. Obey all orders of the court. Do not commit any crimes. Notify the court immediately if your address changes. Not to leave the state of Arizona without permission of the court. We'll talk about that in a moment. Do not possess or consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription, and not to possess any firearms, since it's felony allegations, and if you're convicted, you could become a prohibited possessor. I am placing a $20,000 bond hold on you. You'll remain in custody under that bond unless you post it. Being that you're held in custody on a bond, you have the right to a court-appointed attorney if you cannot afford to hire one. So I'll be sending a financial questionnaire to you that if you wish to exercise your right for a court-appointed attorney, complete that questionnaire. And if a complaint files, which I'll explain that to you in a moment, then you'll have a court-appointed attorney assigned to the case. Okay? One more component to this. So also while you're held in custody on the felony allegation with a bond, the prosecutor of the case has 48 hours from the date and time of this hearing to file a formal complaint against you. If they fail to file that formal complaint, you'll be released out of custody without having to post bond. Okay? If they do file that complaint timely, then the bond stays in place. And if you qualify for your court-appointed attorney, the court-appointed attorney will be assigned, be made aware of your charges, your bond, and be in touch with you shortly thereafter. You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you have any questions at all?
No, with the bond, who do I pay the bond to?
You can pay the bond to the jail staff there or come to the court.
Okay, and it's 10%?
If you go through Bell Bonds, they charge, I believe, 10%, so you would go through them for that, correct?
Okay. Will they be able to supply me with a list of the bondsmen in the area?
They do. The detention staff has them there at their facility, so just ask them that when you get an opportunity to use the phone, and they'll provide you the information.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, that's all I've got for you.
I'm gonna give it just a second. Radio, maybe when you get over there. Over there, or there next to that little sign. Hey, right over here. get out of that car, state your phone number for the judge. Ready?
Santana Emilia Ortega.
Thank you, Ms. Ortega. All right, Ms. Ortega, I want to confirm your address. All right, Ms. Ortega, the state is alleging 6 charges against you, and they are the following, all felony allegations. The first one is drug paraphernalia possession or use. The second charge is narcotic drug possession or use. The third charge is narcotic drug possession.
Was I allowed to have a public defender?
Okay, so you're asking questions that are in the alphabet towards the end. So first I got to make you aware of charges.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so
That's my first time. I
no
don't know.
problem. Yeah, we'll get to all that, and then if you have questions after I'm done informing you of the kind of the procedural things, let me know at the conclusion of that, okay? So the third charge, I gave you the 2. The third charge is narcotic drug possession for sale. The fourth charge is narcotic drug transport for sale. The fifth charge is promoting prison contraband. And then the final charge is weapons misconduct, possessing weapons during a drug violation. On those charges, you have the right to remain silent, right to counsel, and right to trial. I've scheduled you for a preliminary hearing that is scheduled on the 17th of February at 4:00 p.m. The preliminary hearing is to determine if there is enough probable cause to charge you with those crimes, not convict you. If there is probable cause found, then your case will bind over from this court to the Gila County Superior Court. If there is not probable cause found, then the charges could dismiss. There is a possibility that the case will go in front of a grand jury between now and that court date. If that is the case, you'll be notified by mail to your mailing address that you do not need to appear in court. But since we're not sure as of now, you're ordered on that court date unless otherwise notified. Best thing to do is to call a day ahead of time or inquire a day ahead of time to find out if your case is still proceeding. Your release conditions are obey all orders of the court, not to commit any crimes, notify the court immediately of any address change, do not leave the state of Arizona without permission of the court. I'll talk to you about that in a moment. Do not possess or consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription, and not to possess any firearms. Give me one moment. All right. I am placing a bond hold on you of $10,000. So what the bond does is you'll remain in custody unless you post bond. You can go through bail bonds, and the detention staff will have that information if you wish to do that. Being that you're held in custody, on bond, you have the right to the court-appointed attorney that you were asking about. I'll send you a financial questionnaire to see if you financially qualify for the public defender. And if you do, then that attorney will be assigned if a complaint files. So let me explain that process. Since you're held in custody on the felony, the prosecutor of the case for the state of Arizona has 48 hours to file a formal complaint against you from the date and time of this hearing. If they fail to file that formal complaint within 48 hours, you'll be released out of custody on your own recognizance and not have to post any bail. Okay? If they do file the complaint, and if you qualify for the court-appointed attorney with the financial questionnaire that I'm sending you, then your attorney will be assigned at that time, be made aware of your charges, your bond status, and be in touch with you shortly thereafter. Do you understand that process I just explained to you?
So if who makes a complaint, or if who?
The state prosecutor. So that's the prosecuting attorney for the state of Arizona that are bringing the charges forward.
So then I'll be post bail in 2 days if they don't make a complaint.
You can post bail anytime you want, but if they don't file the complaint within 48 hours of this hearing right now, you're going to be released out of custody without having to post bail. Okay?
Okay.
So if they don't post that complaint, then you'll be released and you'll be later notified of a court date. They have up to the end of statute of limitations, which is nearly 7 years from the date of your arrest, to file the charges if they choose to. Okay? If
Is
they
it likely or unlikely that they will or won't?
I don't know. It's a whole different entity from the courts. Okay, so they're significant charges that are alleged against you. So, but if they do file the complaint, then that ability to have that court-appointed attorney that you were asking about becomes relevant to the charging. Okay. Do you have any other questions?
So I can make a call home now, and I can post bail whenever I want from here on until that is the prosecutors don't make a complaint.
Okay, so yeah, so your court date number 1 is scheduled for February 17th. So make sure you call a day ahead of time to see if that's still proceeding. They may take the case in front of a grand jury. Okay, so that is your court date. You're ordered to be in court on that date. If you post a bond and do that before 2 days, then you're going to be released on that bond, and so you still need to be in court. Okay, if you don't post the bond, then the prosecutor has the 48 hours. You may be released after 48 hours if they don't file the complaint. If they do file the complaint, then the bond will remain in place, and if you financially qualify for an attorney, that attorney will be assigned. Do you understand
So
that?
if I don't place bail within 48 hours and they do make a complaint, that will be ended. Like I won't be able to make.
No, you
bail
still
after that?
no, you still can post bail even after the 48
Oh,
hours. Yeah, if a complaint files, you're still able to post bail. Any other questions in that?
no, I think I understand.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, this one? And, that was fine. Watch yourself. Go ahead. Right back. Can you step to that counter? Sit down and go.
Sir, you can step forward. State your name, please.
Martin Loya.
All right, Mr. Lyon. I want to confirm your address. All right, the state is alleging 5 charges against you. They are the following, and they are all felony allegations. The first one is drug paraphernalia possession or use. The second is narcotic drug possession or use. The third is narcotic drug possession for sale. The fourth is narcotic drug transport for sale. And the final charge is weapons misconduct, weapon possession during a drug offense. On those charges, you have the right to remain silent, right to counsel, and right to trial. I've scheduled you for a preliminary hearing on the 17th of February at 4 o'clock p.m. The preliminary hearing is to determine if there's probable cause to charge you with those felony allegations, not convict you. If probable cause is found at that hearing, then your case will bind over to the Gila County Superior Court and they'll take disposition on the case. If probable cause is not found, then the charges could dismiss. There also is a possibility that the case will go in front of a grand jury between now and that court date. If the case does go in front of a grand jury, you'll be notified that you do not need to appear at that court date. That notice will be by mail. Your release conditions are as follows. Obey all orders of the court. Do not commit any crimes. Notify the court immediately of any change of address. Do not leave the state of Arizona without permission of the court, and we'll discuss that in a moment. Do not possess or consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription, and do not possess any firearms, since these are felony allegations. If you're convicted, you could become a prohibited possessor. Do you understand those release conditions?
Yes.
Okay. I'm placing a $15,000 bond hold on you. You'll remain in custody on that bond. Being that you're held in custody on a bond, so a couple of things happen. Number one, you have the right to a court-appointed attorney.
What is that? What does that mean?
That means that you're not going to be released out of jail unless you post the bond.
For how much?
$15,000.
15,000?
Correct. You can go through bail bonds, and the detention staff can allow you to inquire. They require 10% of that.
I don't have money like that.
Then we'll see you on the 17th of February.
Oh.
Okay? So let me make sure that you understand the process. Being that you're held in custody, I'm going to send you a financial questionnaire. If you qualify for a court-appointed attorney, one will be assigned to you if a complaint files. So let me explain the complaint filing process. So since you're held in custody on the bond, the state prosecutor has 48 hours from the date and time of this hearing to file a formal complaint against you. If they do not file that complaint timely, then you'll be released on your own recognizance without having to post bail. You understand that?
Oh, in 48 hours?
Correct. If they do file the complaint within the 48 hours, then if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney, if you wish to exercise that right, make sure you complete the financial questionnaire, then your attorney will be assigned to the case because of that complaint filing. They'll be made aware of your charges, of your bond status, and be in touch with you shortly thereafter. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, do you have any questions at all? Okay, that's all I have for you.
Answer this way. Hang on that one.